Hello, Flickering Myth family, and welcome to our channel. My name is EJ, and as part of our 2024 Sundance coverage, and as a Central Florida native, I have a lot to dive into with this new movie review. We will be talking about the film Suncoast.
Doris, old lady's name.
It was my grandma's name.
Oh,
She died the day I was born.
Suncoast is a brand new film from Laura Chin, which just had its debut at the Sundance Film Festival. It's heading to Hulu in the next couple weeks. I'm pretty excited that this is going to get a time to shine. This movie is so Florida in its essence, from the slice of life teen kind of coming of age story to the Terry Schiavo case, which is a big backdrop of this movie, to just overall the, again, like the teen life, the kind of normalcy, but also we live in paradise, so our life should be better kind of vibe. This movie has a lot going for it. It's hard-hitting. Laura Chin definitely took from her life. This is a very personal movie, but what I like is she allowed us into the personalness. There are sometimes movies that feel very close to the writer and the director's heart. You could tell that they put all their soul into this because this is part of their life, but sometimes that makes movies inaccessible because I'm like, well, I never lived that life. Well, I have no, recollection. It's such a very specific niche thing that you want us to relate to, but we can't. Something about Suncoast made it so relatable, so honest, so earnest that you were able to just go, oh, I get this character. I understand Doris. We'll talk about the acting and how Nico Parker, I mean, what a godsend she is in this role. But obviously, I just think this movie really understood its tone, its style. It's a teenage coming-of-age story, a high school movie. You've seen one, you've seen it all. And it kind of brought me back to Coda, which was a Sundance hit, which went on to win the Oscar. I really, really think this is going to be this year's Coda. Maybe not the Oscar win, but that hard-hitting family coming-of-age story that really you don't expect to be as thought-provoking as it is, but this movie has conversations of religion, death, what to do with somebody when they're in a medical condition that a lot of people don't really think. Are they alive? Are they, what's that kind of consensus on that? This movie deals with a lot of topics, but again, it's following that Doris character and her painful struggle to just be a normal girl. I thought this was all well acted, well directed, well written. It's overall a surprising piece that I did not expect to touch me as much as it did. Nico Parker plays Doris, a young girl in the Central Florida area. She's living in the Clearwater St. Pete area in the early 2000s, because you could tell by the soundtrack especially. Ooh, that Christina Milian Dip It Low, like needle drop, you really spoke to me there. The raving, rolling scene. I'm like, ooh, I remember being 15 listening to Castles in the Sky. Like this, it really brought me back. Oh my goodness. So she's living in her Central Florida Clearwater life. She also has a brother who is in a vegetative state. I don't know the politically correct term for what he's going through, but he's basically just stuck in his body. He's not speaking, there's no real functions, which is very similar to Terry Schiavo's case. If you guys don't remember, Terry Schiavo was a woman who was put into like a hospice situation. Her husband kind of gave up on the case. It was such a big thing. I mean, South Park even parodied it at the time. The Terry Schiavo case was a big thing, and that's the backdrop for this. They put her brother, Doris's brother, her mother, puts the brother into this Suncoast facility, which is where Terry Schiavo was staying at. So there's a massive amount of protest out there, which then starts the conversation of, Doris is trying to live her teen life. She doesn't want to be stuck taking care of her brother who is in the state that she doesn't have that connection with. And there's so much there. Her mother, played by Linney, she is great, insufferable at times. Like, as the young kid in my heart, I'm just like, oh, I hate her mom's character, but I understand so much. Woody Harrelson's in this movie as a protester who ends up striking a odd friendship with Doris. They're very morose people. I mean, their first real conversation kind of trauma dumping on each other, making it almost into a competition. Loved it. I think Woody Harrelson and Nico Parker's relationship in this movie seems so genuine, so honest, and it's cute at times where you're like, this is one of the only adults, one that is even thinking of listening to her, even thinking of putting themselves in her position. It's interesting. Nico just wants to have fun. She's trying to find her way at a Christian school, which she's not feeling very religious. She's meeting these new kids who are, very much partiers, and she's trying to introduce herself to that life. She doesn't know what a keg stand is. She doesn't know what rolling on stuff is. She is so out of that loop, and she just wants to be in that loop. She wants to be that normal girl. So we're watching her, and this again really reminded me of Coda, where in that movie, our main character just wants to get out of her family. She loves her family, but she wants to break out on her own. And that's what Doris wants in this movie. And you really, really sympathize with her. You really want her to just do it, but at the same time, spend time with her brother. Her mother was saying, you're not going to get much more time with this. Laura Linney's character has her own issues beefing with that hospice and all that, and the nurses and all that. And I understood her pain as well, but I really kept going back to Doris and being like, let her be free, but also she needs to have responsibility. This movie really pulls you in so many different directions, but it makes you feel all these emotions. It makes you see everyone's point of view, and you relate to it. You sympathize, you empathize, and that's really hard to do, especially when Laura Chin made a movie that feels it's semi-autobiographical, but it feels like I'm reading her diary, which sometimes can get invasive, but this movie invites you in and lets you think about it, challenges your way of thinking, and I love that this movie played with those emotions.
I'm so sorry. My wife passed away.
My dad died when I was 3.
Christ, it ain't a competition.
This movie will have the conversations about Laura Linney, Woody Harrelson. Oh, they're great actors. They've been here for years. They're so established. But Nico Parker, she gave me a bit of a taste. The little bit I've watched of The Last of Us, did not like the show. Sorry. It's my hottest take ever, it seems like. But I loved her little work as Joel's daughter. I was just like, she's great. I love her. She's cool. That little first episode when you got to spend some time with her, really know her character. I wanted more of this actress. Nico Parker is a damn star. She just has this charisma, this uniqueness, nerve, and talent, to quote Drag Race, that I'm just like, oh, she's wise beyond her years. She's powerful. She's adorable, but also so pained. She has so much acting. I think this to me is the biggest star that we're gonna get out of one of this year's. We have our Zendayas, our Timothée Chalamets, but we need to put like a Nico Parker in this conversation of young actresses, young performers in our industry who deserve these chances as a showcase film like this, and to hopefully get a blockbuster one day where Nico can show the whole entire world how good she is. As a Floridian, I love what they did here as a young adult. God, I'm 30, so I'm just an adult, still trying to figure out my place in this world, trying to navigate religion, family, politics, all these things. This movie really does a good job of not making you feel a certain way. It's not like throwing its own perspective on you. It wants you to hear the situation, feel it on yourself, and make your own conclusions. That's up to the writing and directing, but that's also the actors. The performers deliver such good performances that you are just like, oh, these are real humans. I feel the emotions. And that's so hard to do, especially in teen dramas, especially in coming-of-age stories, to make you feel like this did. I felt all the feels. Alright everyone, that is it for my review of Suncoast. This week is going to be jam-packed with reviews. We have Argyle coming up, a couple more surprise things as well. Cannot wait to dive into that. But what did you guys think of this movie? What did you think of this review? If you've seen Suncoast yet, share your thoughts down in the comments below. I would say keep it spoiler free, but what you really going to spoil about this movie? But yeah, I want to know your thoughts. What do you feel? What you're thinking? Let me know down below. Subscribe to Flickering Myth because we make videos like this every single week, and give us a thumbs up if you did enjoy. Now let's get down to talking about Suncoast right down here.